Joel and I were fans of a trio from Duluth, Minnesota called Low, from the time Andrew Beaujean had urged Joel to see them open for his band Eggs at the Empty Bottle in 1994. Low was made up of a guitarist, bassist, and drummer who played using brushes and a simple kit made up of a tom, snare drum, and cymbal. The slow, deliberate music drew attention to every musical gesture that the group made. Low used silence to great effect, as guitarist singer Alan Sparhawk told a college newspaper in 1997. I think there's such potent emptiness between two events. That emptiness between two events is just as important as the events themselves. And when you strip time down and focus on it, it can be a very powerful and versatile thing. Low and Kranky made an early connection when the label advertised in Sparhawk's fanzine, "This Town Needs a ... Low released 3 albums and an EP via a label called Vernon Yard, which was manufactured by the major label Virgin and distributed by the heavyweight quasi-indie Caroline Records distributor. Joel and I would have loved to work with the band, but they were connected to a label that was seemingly better financed and possessed more resources than Kranky. After 3 full-length albums and multiple tours, Low had built an audience and profile, selling more records than some of the other bands on Vernon Yard, who were given higher promotional budgets. But in 1997, Virgin decided to close down the label. Low had been dropped and found themselves without a record label. They were a veteran touring outfit booked by Tom Windisch with national tours and European shows under their collective belt, spending most of their time, quote, on the road as usual, as a promotional postcard put it. Joel and I were astonished that another label didn't snap them up immediately. We asked if they would be interested in recording a few songs and offered a modest recording budget. Low accepted and decided to record at their home in Duluth. Those recordings were released as a 12-inch EP and CD called Songs for Dead Pilot in October 1997. Our astonishment continued when bigger labels still didn't snap the band up, and Low and Kranky was able to release a double album from Low called Secret Name in April 1999. I first met Joel Leschke at a distributor here in town called Cargo Records, and some of my valued colleagues have really best told it. But I'd like to talk about a bizarre period in my life when I moved from Cargo Records to a different dimension. This is entitled, Meanwhile, Back on Planet Kranky. In spring of 1996, I left Cargo. Joel had been able to phase out earlier, parlaying a part-time bartender gig into more hours and picking up shifts at Reckless Records. I got a job in a warehouse in Facets Multimedia, a Lincoln Park art cinema warehouse and videotape rental and mail order operation. I found myself in a mirror universe of the music-centric one I had left. My coworkers displayed deep knowledge and discussed the latest films from Iran and restored silence. I worked alongside musicians there, including John Forbes, Ramona Shasta, and Adam Grewal. My car had died earlier that year, so Joel would drop off 120 count boxes of promo CDs or a box of padded mailing envelopes into the basement warehouse. At the end of the workday, I'd schlep them up the stairs, out the door, and west across Fullerton Avenue to a bus stop on the corner of Damon. Then I'd get on the bus with my 30-pound box and ride home, where I'd make the final leg up 2 stories to my apartment. Joel and I had each gotten early iMac computers and our very own printers for ourselves. My office was always well supplied with postal mailing tubs, the ubiquitous semi-transparent plastic mail carriers that I would pack with promo packages to go out. They stack up nicely. Technically, I was breaking federal law, and still am, by taking them home, but the helpful post office staff were always willing to give me some. I'd take trips down Western Avenue to a nearby Kinko's to run off sheets and stuff them into packages with CDs. Then back on the bus to carry my tubs to be mailed. I became immediately aware of the best post offices to visit, the ones located off a bus line where the lines were short and the clerks were helpful. I would buy mass amounts of stamps at a time to send out promos at the media mail rate for books, magazines, and recorded media. A scandal had ripped across Chicago in the fall of 1994, when a series of discoveries were made of postal workers leaving mail in relay boxes, stashing mail under a viaduct, and hiding bags in their home or under a back porch. In one case, firefighters discovered 2,300 pounds of mail in the closet of a carrier's home. One epicenter of slow and indifferent mail delivery was close to my house, the post office near the corner of Ashland and Lawrence Avenues in the Uptown neighborhood. The evaluation of Chicago's postal service became a regular topic of conversation between me and other label promo folks, fanzine publishers, and interested parties. After one promo mailing, I discovered that a package I'd mailed to Vancouver arrived in 2 days, while mail sent across town took 2 weeks. The poster artist Dan Jetsa clued me into a small office near his house at the intersection of Wilson and Damon Avenues, and it became my go-to. Let's see. And I'll leave you with this final bit about the best-known band that ever worked with Kranky, the band that bought me a car down there around the house. Godspeed You Black Emperor. We were proud and shy motherfuckers, and we engaged with the world thusly. As we prepared Godspeed's F-sharp, A-sharp Infinity for CD for release, I had a discussion with the band about how I would go about promoting their record. This was my customary process that included arranging a publicity photo, talking about the recording and how it would be represented in a band biography and press release, and seeing if the artist had any supporters in the press or college radio that they wanted to make certain would get a pre-release promo CD. Godspeed You Black Emperor had a very specific set of requirements. They did not want a press photo of the full group, relenting after my pleading by providing a hazy shot of an undetermined group of people walking down train tracks. The band would not do any interviews. In 2012, Godspeed You Black Emperor outlined their rationale behind this approach to The Guardian. Quote, "We started making this noise together when we were young and broke. The only thing we knew for sure was that the professional music writers seemed hopelessly out of touch, and nobody gave a shit about the shit we loved. We knew that there were other people out there who felt the same way, and we wanted to bypass what we saw as unnecessary hurdles and find those people on our own. We were proud and shy motherfuckers, and we engaged with the world thusly. Meaning we decided no singer, no leader, no interviews, no press photos. We played sitting down and projected movies on top of us, no rock poses." The band's perspective made sense to me. They were an instrumental collective making music and business decisions as a group. Joel and I had operated Kranky as a music and artist first label, and we agreed to promote the CD as the band wanted. We were going to do things the band's way as much as we could. Over the course of my experience promoting music at Touch and Go and Kranky, I had experienced more than a little frustration trying to pry band photos from musicians or pestering musicians to follow up on interview requests. A photo of people, any people really, suited my purpose. The process of promoting music is a playground for the passive-aggressive, with many an opportunity for heel dragging and prevaricating by musicians who really don't want to promote themselves for whatever reasons. I respected Godspeed for stating what they would not do up front, and I had a suspicion. In March of 2020, Mark Richardson revisited F-sharp, A-sharp, and an extended review for Pitchfork. Quote, Godspeed's avoidance of the trappings of the music industry only enhanced their prophetic aura in the years after the release of F-sharp, A-sharp, Infinity. They issued no photographs, sold no t-shirts, and gave very few interviews. Given all the mystery surrounding the record itself and the openness to interpretation of the mostly instrumental music, that contextual void left room for a lot of imagination. All right.
You're not going to read the whole thing?
No.